Welcome back to another episode of ANTICS, School Antics Edition. I'm your host, Cameron King, back with another episode. I'm here with Eli Ortega.
Hey.
And Megan Schnarr.
Hello.
Hello. So we are fresh off of our social justice English class, in which for about an hour we just watched presentations and videos of police murders.
Do you mean
police murdering black people?
Mm-hmm.
And it was something, I gotta say. It was quite heavy. A lot of after the sixth video, I was kind of just like, I don't want to see anymore.
It was a lot.
It was a lot to process.
Like, what do you guys think? Because I want to hear your guys' interpretation before I talk.
So my group hasn't presented, but when I was doing my project, my hashtag to review on was Alicia Thomas, and I thought that the video that I had to see for her murder, which was she was beaten to death, was graphic, but with all the other ones that I saw today, I realized that it could be even more.
Could be worse, yeah.
It could be worse, and it was just a lot to take in. And personally, I have a hard time seeing stuff like that, so it was a bit out of my comfort zone. But I was it was something I needed to see. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Eli, how about yourself, my man? Yours was really good. I liked your.
Really?
Yeah, I just thought it was your case was so complicated.
I feel like people were just judging me the whole time.
Why?
Hey, man, I didn't choose this. I didn't know what we were going into.
You just chose a name.
Yeah, we literally just chose a name.
So basically, those who listened to the last podcast, Riley and I's assignment was you basically got to choose a medium. Everybody in the class did a PowerPoint presentation, but Riley and I did a podcast in which we just talked about the incident and those involved and then the outcome. What most people did is they showed a video as well of the incident as well as discussed their own reflection. And so how Riley and I did Eric Gardner, we had a list of hashtags of people's names that you were supposed to pick from, and you just talk about it.
Yeah.
And it got pretty hot and heavy, and yeah, just the fact that that's an assignment in school.
I feel like it needed to be discussed.
I've never had a class like this.
Yeah,
ever.
Especially because all the cases are very similar, where in the sense it was you didn't really see the person, the victim doing anything wrong.
Yeah.
But that's when in mine it was kind of we just chose the odd one out.
Yeah.
I felt really judged because I was oh shit.
Yours was the only one where there was actually some justification for the police.
They had a warrant, and
you want to explain your case?
So Corin Gaines, what a woman. She decided that she was going to aim a shotgun at the police, even though they had a warrant on her house for a traffic violation, which is kind of it's a traffic violation. Just go to court, just get it over with.
Right.
And I totally believe in the whole movement of Black Lives Matter and all that. But this is one case where she was just straight up. She was armed.
She was kind of in the wrong.
Yeah, and she straight up resisted for 6 hours, and they had a warrant. They had a reason, and she knew what it was. It was a traffic violation. And I'm I had to present this to the class, and I felt everyone else was just they kind of expected me to take the side.
I don't think anybody was judging you.
Maybe it's just me because I knew this was a different case and all the rest, and it was weird because I was this straight up doesn't make sense to take her side, because she was
Yeah, I didn't think even when you were presenting that you were necessarily taking her side. You were explaining what was going on, and I feel everyone also needed to hear that too, because all the other presentations were stories of it obviously being in the wrong of the police officer, and this was something different, but it also had the same background of police brutality and how it affects certain groups of people. So I understand how you could feel judged, because also being in a class setting, everyone's judgmental too. So I feel it's that kind of, I get how you feel.
Yeah.
But I'm glad you had that presentation. You did it.
It was good.
I'm glad someone.
It was a good refresher. It was a refreshing
You need to hear different perspectives of a story, because if you only listen to one.
If everybody's oh, these police, they're so bad, then it's it goes back to the echo chamber. I really like the concept of talking about the echo chamber, because like it's such a subconscious part of like our lives that we don't even think about, but then it's so like apparent when you really sit down and kind of like try to break it down. Like so when I was looking at these when you're talking about judgment, like getting judged by the class, how I like to look at it is just like, if it's not like, if you go in with the mindset of filtering yourself due to not wanting to be judged, then I feel that's just a detriment to everybody that's listening. You know, if their thought isn't being provoked in that way, then they're not gaining anything, and you're not gaining anything by not discussing it, you know. So that's why I love in our class is very like, they're kind of hostile towards people that have a differentiating opinion, and that's something I don't like, but I really like to engage that. I like to try to pull more information out of that, and that's why I always try to talk about it against the grain, as you guys can kind of like see from me talking.
I honestly appreciate that there's like people in our class that are passionate about like what they're talking about.
Definitely, we need more people like that.
And sometimes it can come across like kind of aggressive, but I feel like it's kind of like the same thing with like different perspectives. Like you like can be able to learn and like understand from those experiences to help you become a better person. So I feel like even though it's kind of difficult, like personally for me to even speak out in class, even though I might have similar views to them, because I feel like personally like my voice wouldn't be heard, but I like listening and trying to understand and interpret what they're saying, because it does mean something, you know what I mean?
Totally.
And I would say it's not necessarily that I disagree with everyone there, but that we should always look for like truth over partisanship. And it's like, even though we're talking about like, we're not saying that it's not true that police like, we're like, you know, we all acknowledge the fact that police brutality is a thing, but that like, even there's always gonna be outliers in certain cases where, you know, we should always see what's the truth over like, you know, automatically
personal bias, right?
And it's like, although like 95% of the truth, 95% of these cases might be a certain way.
You want to know what I just thought, because of you saying that personal bias is of like, which is the truth, is that Yanez case, where the cop pulled the guy over for he thought that they looked like people that were involved in a robbery, and he said that it was because of their broken taillight. And then the chick, oh my god, this was like,
thank you.
Thank you, school. But shoot, no. That was the most like eye-opening one. I thought when the cop pulled this black couple over, and he just like the guy had his hands up and he was like reaching for his wallet. But before he did, he said, "I have a firearm." Like,
but I'm not reaching
for it. But he didn't specify. So the cop took that as, oh, he has a gun. I have to be on super red alert now, or else I will die. And so he should have probably said the gun is like over here. Although I don't even know. Like, even if he had said the gun is in my pocket, but I am reaching in my pocket because my wallet is also there. Literally, it was so in the moment. And watching the reaction and like hearing the audio of that cop's reaction in that split second, that moment, was like the part that I was just like, oh my god, like, because it was just so quick. And then when you, and the fact that he shot him 7 times just in that quick moment, just out of fear, that's where I think it really gets tricky discussing these issues with these specific cases, because it's so like, I don't know, because we're not in those situations, so we really can't judge. But then again, it's like when we have the facts and we see the information. Where I'm talking about this is because you talked about bias versus truth, and that cop, he had said, when you heard him explain his side of the story, literally 2 minutes after it had happened, it was different from what actually had happened. Like you guys saw that, like, oh my god. That was what I found, like, because like these cops, they have their own personal biases. We don't know if race is the biggest factor in these murders. We don't know that. We don't, like, we don't have enough information about these cops to know about their past, about how they were raised, about what environment they were in, to know if race is the sole proprietor of their killing, or if it's just fear and the knowledge of their community and their job and like what else they've seen.
I think that plays into it though, because even if you aren't outright racist, it's like the fact that like I guess you fear. It's almost like a subconscious thing.
Yeah, like what we were talking about in class about like the subconscious like judgment that people have. Like maybe that person isn't like outwardly like I guess racist in that sense and is like targeting this person specifically at that moment, but like the internal like suspicion that cop might have had of that person, like, oh, like my judgment, like
profiling.
Yeah, profiling. That's what I'm trying to talk about, but I couldn't really remember.
With that case in specific, I feel looking at the facts, and if that was a white couple, there was no way that he would have done that.
Yeah.
Shot 7 times on a split-second reaction to him reaching for his wallet, like. And there was inherent racism.
And if
you could see.
Correct, right? Like their daughter was in the car too.
Their daughter was in the car.
So.
And then what was so heartbreaking is when she literally started like, what I thought was most shocking was how calm she was.
Yeah,
she started live streaming directly after the cop shot her boyfriend, and she kept a level voice the entire time. The cop was freaking strung out, like so freaked out, and she was keeping a level voice. She was like, I cannot believe that my boyfriend is about to go out like this. Like she was like, I can't believe that this is happening. And she, like, you were like, oh my god.
I was kind of confused by that because I feel like most people would
be like so hysterical, right?
Like yes.
If that were me in that moment, I would go
exactly
insane.
I don't know how she could have kept that kind of like level. I honestly don't understand that, but that was kind of crazy.
All right, do you guys have any other cases that you guys want to talk about that we saw, or you want to switch it up a little bit?
We can switch it up.
Yeah, switch it up.
All right, cool. So yeah, basically, cops kill black people in America. It's sad.
Yeah.
If you're a cop, if you're gonna kill a black person, do it because they're doing bad stuff, not because they're black. Yeah. But but don't kill anyone, because killing is bad. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, we're gonna switch it up to climate change. Woot woot, the Earth's gonna die.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Hey cops, how about instead of killing
the
black people, how about we kill oil? Am I right? Let's just murder all of the oils.
Yeah.
So Eli. Yeah. This Friday, you are going to participate in a strike on Chevron. Can you explain to us the reason behind that?
So Chevron is one of the 4 corporations that makes up almost 71% of the CO2 emissions worldwide.
Okay.
So it's one of those top. Sorry, my mistake. I don't know if it was 1 out of 4 or 1 of 100 corporations. Either way, biggest polluter, and it's right here in the Bay Area.
So their headquarters are in San Ramon?
San Ramon, yeah, where we live. So they're actually across from the city center on Bollinger.
Okay.
Their headquarters, their corporate headquarters are there. So what we're going to do is we're going to go and demand that they get off of fossil fuels and switch to renewable energy.
And like pass legislation showing that they're going to do this.
Well,
is that the idea or what?
The strike in SF on Friday was for the government to act.
Yeah.
This one at Chevron is specifically telling Chevron to switch their energy to renewables by 2025.
Okay.
And what I was reading.
How could they do that if they're a gas company? How can
so what they do is because they're not just gas, so they can do energy. They're just an energy company. So what they can do is instead of investing in and expanding natural gas production, is instead by switching to maybe employing people to retrofit houses to put solar panels on them, to making them. They can change their jobs.
That, right?
You know, they're a corporation. Even though they're about money, the point is that they can do anything in the energy sector. They can expand wind, they can invest in geothermal, they can invest in anything on the West Coast pretty much.
Right.
Like, you know, their energy.
So we're not demanding immediate change to their corporation, because that would be just an economic turmoil that would and so we're demanding that they promise through their like PR to make sure that they're going in a direction that is going to halt their total emissions. Is that what we're saying?
So, well, the thing is,
because
by 2025, the goal is to have them at least aim for 100% renewables, because there's no room really for people to say we're going to do this slowly. That would have been okay in the past, but corporations never did. So it's too late for them to do it slowly. So what we want is for them to, and we know corporations, we know that they're not going to be like, saviors of humanity.
Right.
We know that they're going to try and get a way out of it. But the point is, if we pressure them to not take shortcuts, if we tell them we're sick of you doing this, and we say this is what our goal is, we want you to be 100% renewable, even if they went to 50%, which isn't ideal, that's better than them sitting there idly. We're just trying to show them we're not going to stand.
Like, it's better like something than completely nothing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And the thing is, even aside from renewables, the reason we're doing it, because we're in the Bay Area, Youth versus Apocalypse, the reason we're going to Chevron is because they knowingly pollute like lower income people of color's communities in Richmond, in I remember Richmond, but basically other parts of the Bay Area and basically the West Coast in general. So that's a big thing. We're just trying to push them to stop polluting because they know what they're doing.
What events in your life have pushed you and made you so passionate about the environment as a whole?
Okay, well, that's kind of a general statement, but honestly, it's because I was watching Victorious one day, and I remember Kat said some line like, "I don't believe in global warming," and I was like, "What the fuck is that?" So I looked it up.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Oh, silly Ariana Grande.
Yeah.
You and your dialogue.
So I looked it up, because I was like 10 or 8 or whatever, and I was like, "What is that?" And I looked it up, and then I had a big that was like a driver of like my anxiety and shit about it.
Oh, really?
And I was like, yeah, and so
you said that's a general statement. Guess what? I would have never known that if I hadn't had it. That's fucking interesting as shit.
It is. It's weird, I know, but like it's just like as time went on, we talked more and more about it, and then I'm like, oh,
so
I remember
that's
this.
what sparked it.
Yeah, because like it's not like so I looked it up and I was like, I never knew what it was, and then I saw it and it kind of made me like realize like,
dude.
why is no one doing anything about this?
Does it show you
like,
that they should probably educate this more in school?
From a younger age, yeah, because when I was really young, my science class never talked about it.
Yeah.
So I think because we're that generation, I think they are now more actually, but I think for sure everywhere they should talk to all children and show them, what their future is going to be like, because, this is an issue that will change all of our futures.
Yeah, I get that. I mean, like, you found out at a young age of like what was going on in the world.
Yeah,
and I think
that's Victorious.
Yeah, but I mean that's kind of cool because like, even like as a freshman in high school, like I knew there was stuff going on, but I didn't know the impact of what was happening because like we didn't have people telling us what was going on. Like the media was silent about it. Like
the
it was
media
just
doesn't talk about it for shit.
Yeah, and like it just took a long time for me to understand like what was truly going on and like how much of an impact even one person has on the environment. Like you can do many things to help the environment in some sense, like reducing like waste that you have and stuff like that.
And one thing actually related to that is that I used to, a lot of people are like, oh, you can change things individually, which I totally agree with. Like, I try and go plastic free, and like I went vegetarian for that purpose. But I think the big thing is that while we do things individually, and like we should do what we can in our power as individuals, but the point is we have to also like bring attention to the fact that no matter how many of us do it, it doesn't change the fact that there's like massive corporations that are changing, and like they're the main drivers. Like think of Starbucks, like the plastic straws, like everyone has heard of that, like the Visco Grill thing, but like the thing is I agree with that. We should not consume so much plastic, but even when I'm buying like a Starbucks drink, it's in plastic.
Like, okay, so like the straw, I get it. Like it's
not recyclable.
Get so much plastics in the straw compared to the entire venti drink.
Yeah,
but it's still plastic, so it's like you're still creating waste, even though like you're taking away the straw.
Thing, like there, as in Starbucks is like, okay, environmentalists, you don't want to cause plastic pollution, buy our premium cup, and it's like no, because I'm not going to carry my cup every 5 seconds. Like I'm not going to carry my Starbucks cup, my boba cup, my straw. Like I'm not going to carry. No one carries all of this at once.
For real, bro.
Yeah, it's like you can't travel the world in like 5 seconds. Like you want something to drink, and then you're not going to carry your cup 24/7.
I feel like the organizations need to find a way to make it like personally. Like correct me if I'm wrong, but so like you said that the Starbucks cups can be recycled, right? You said that.
So the
right?
plastic cups?
Yeah, the plastic ones.
All
but
plastic is no, it's not all recyclable
after
completely.
3 times,
yeah, after
right?
like to an extent, you know.
Yeah, but like maybe they
have
can figure out a way to like make like. I know it's like going to be more expensive, especially as a business, but they're a big corporation. They can probably afford it. Is to make like the cups compostable and stuff like that, and to make it more environmentally friendly. Because, like you said, it's like kind of impractical to always be carrying something reusable. Like even when like if I go to Starbucks one day or go get coffee, like I try to bring my reusable cup, but it's not practical. Like sometimes I'm not at home and I forget it, and I'm just like, well, shit, I have to do that. You know what I mean?
Right?
Yeah.
And it's like I think we should do to what we can, but like no matter what, like 20 people in our school, we convince 20 people to go plastic free and vegetarian, vegan or whatever. But like that doesn't change the fact that there's like 8 billion people on Earth.
Yeah.
You know,
dude.
Like,
all right, I'm gonna go off.
Do it.
So, the fucking waste thing is absurd to me.
Right.
Because, okay, if you think about it, waste is literally so ingrained in our society. Mm-hmm. You go to Panda Express, what do they give you? A styrofoam tray. Guess what styrofoam can't be? Anything like they don't give you the option. Like it's so inconvenient for you to bring your own like reusable tray and be like, don't do that. Just give that. And then you're like, what's the point? Because of the whole day, their whole business day, all they're going to be doing is giving like, here, tray to you, tray to you, tray to you. No one's going to say no, right? Like, what's the, like, why? And because it's so ingrained, right? Any Starbucks, they give you, throw your cup away, right? There's so much waste that you physically, like, it's so ingrained that we physically can't stop it. That's why what we really need to do is demand action on legislation. Mm-hmm. But the thing is, it's so it would be completely unprofitable for these people to use these reusable trays where they like give it away. It all started from fucking McDonald's, bro. McDonald's, what their whole business strategy is. Have you guys seen The Founder? No. Bro, guys, watch that shit. Documentary on Netflix about the founder of McDonald's. Basically, his strategy is. He's like, instead of these, because basically in the 50s, all like drive-ins, what they do, you would drive up, they would take your order in your car, and they would give you like a tray and like silverware, and then you give the tray back, which is like good. And then McDonald's came in and was like, hey guys, we're gonna give you a bag that you can throw away, and we're gonna wrap your burger in paper that you can throw away. It's so convenient. It's so easy. People value convenience over anything. Yeah. They value convenience in their spending, and they value convenience in just convenience for convenience sake in general, you know?
Yeah, because it's more expensive to get something that's reusable. Like if someone wanted a reusable water bottle, like it's expensive. But even though in the long turn out, if you continue buying plastic water bottles, it'll still be more expensive. But like
Hydro flask should be cheaper. Communist scale.
That's actually capitalist, but I get where you're coming from.
Yeah.
Anyways, I actually really like the...
Haley Bias, please come to the office.
Okay. Anyways.
Bias, please come to the office.
So I
more like Hallie Bias, because that's her name. Got him. All right, go.
So anyways, I actually really like that you brought up the fact of convenience, because that's the thing. That's the, like... Okay, so like as individuals, we can only do so much, and like people will never choose, the inconvenient option. People are always going to go for convenience. So that's why we have to tell the corporations and governments, people aren't going to change. They aren't going to buy their own utensils for everything. You have to give them utensils that are eco-friendly but also convenient, because people won't change the fact that they want convenience. That will never change.
We need to prioritize recyclability.
So like
really, I feel that is a good start, because if waste is going to be there no matter what, if you give them waste that is easily cleaned and recyclable, that makes it for these recyclable plants that are easy, they like in these Starbucks, all they have is garbage cans. They don't have recyclables. I mean, they do, but like, who the fuck is gonna throw their cup in a recyclable, right? Because there's trash cans. And then the trash cans, they all go to one place. They all go to waste management, and they all end up in a big hole, right? Yeah. And eventually, like, that's just not gonna fly anymore. Yeah. So we need to just put pressure on government to try to push these cleaner, more eco-friendly things. Basically what it is it's not profitable for these companies, so what they have to do is subsidy. That's what they did with the fucking railroads. Subsidy. If you give these companies money, what are you putting first? Profit for the government, or are you put and these companies and your capitalist agenda, or should you be pushing forward for the environment?
Yeah.
Like I don't know. We got like about 2 minutes left, so let's wrap it up.
Wait, okay, so one thing. So in SFO, they actually have like cups that like look like plastic, but they're made of corn. So like it's weird, but like they're compostable corn cups, but they're like the same material as plastic. So I think they should definitely make corporations. That's one thing they can do. They all turn all their cups into that company's cups, the corn biodegradable cups. But yeah, that's just one I want to throw out there. But also, plastic is inherently not eco-friendly, so we have to eradicate plastic because at one point it will never be recycled, you know, so like...
Fuck, dude.
Also, on a separate note, like the video Greta Thunberg.
Yeah.
Sorry, I can't pronounce it.
Feed the Swede.
Feed the Swede.
But the video that she just like posted, and that's in the link in her bio on Instagram. Like, I think anyone should watch that, and everyone, because like I was in class and I was like, I had chills. I was like, this is super empowering. I think everyone should listen to that.
I'm gonna watch that.
Yep.
Oh yeah,
Sweet.
it's really impactful.
It's like 4 minutes.
Damn,
so
really?
yeah.
Gee.
I wish we could talk longer.
Me too. I love.
All right, bye.
If you guys want to be on it again,
Yeah.
I'll gladly have you. Let's take us out. Eli, you got final words?
Go green, join the strikes, push for governments and corporations to switch their fucking lifestyles, because switching yours won't do enough.
Amen.
But you should still do that. But
Yeah, do it.
join us, man. This is your future.
Every person counts.
Woo.
All right. Thank you for listening. Adios.